If you're a cat guardian, you've probably heard of FIP, Feline Infectious Peritonitis. And if you haven't, get ready to learn about one of the most cruel and devastating diseases that can affect our feline companions. For a long time, FIP was considered a death sentence, a silent illness, hard to diagnose, and one that progressed quickly, leaving both guardians and veterinarians feeling helpless. In this video, you'll understand what FIP is, how it shows up, why it's so dangerous, and most importantly, what has changed in recent years. We're going to talk about a treatment that's been transforming the lives of thousands of cats around the world. And that might be the hope many guardians have been waiting for. If you're going through this with your cat or know someone who's facing this battle, this content could be a turning point. And even if your cat is healthy, knowing the signs and risks of FIP is a way to prepare and protect the ones you love. And if you enjoy learning more about your pet's behavior and want to give them a happier, healthier life, subscribe to our channel. We post daily videos made with care and responsibility just for you. What is FIP? FIP, or Feline Infectious Peritonitis, is a viral disease that affects cats and, for many years, was considered one of the most cruel and fatal conditions in veterinary medicine. It's caused by a mutation of the feline coronavirus, a virus that's quite common among cats, especially those living in environments with many animals like shelters, catteras, or multi-cat households. In most cases, this coronavirus doesn't pose a serious threat. It might cause mild symptoms like temporary diarrhea, and many cats live with the virus without ever showing signs of illness. However, in some cats, the virus mutates and turns into the aggressive form we know as FIP. This mutation triggers a strong inflammatory response that can affect various internal organs, the liver, kidneys, lungs, eyes, and even the nervous system. The result is a systemic disease that starts off quietly but progresses quickly and can lead to death within just a few weeks. FIP is especially common in kittens, young cats, and animals with weakened immune systems. And because it can show up in different ways, diagnosis is often difficult and delayed, which increases the risk even more. That's why understanding what FIP is and how it affects the cat's body is the first step in recognizing the signs and seeking help as soon as possible. Types of FIP and symptoms. FIP doesn't show up in just one way. In fact, it can appear in two distinct forms, and understanding this difference is essential for recognizing the signs and getting help quickly. The first form is known as wet FIP. It's the most aggressive and also the easiest to identify. In this version of the disease, fluid builds up inside the cat's abdominal or chest cavity. This fluid is the result of intense inflammation caused by the virus. The guardian notices that the cat's belly looks swollen, as if it suddenly gained weight, but in reality, it's fluid accumulating. In some cases, this fluid can also build up in the chest, making it hard for the cat to breathe. It's a fast-moving form that requires immediate attention. The second form is called dry FIP. It's quieter and therefore harder to diagnose. In this version, there's no fluid buildup, but the virus attacks internal organs like the liver, kidneys, eyes, and even the brain. Symptoms vary a lot depending on where the inflammation is concentrated. The cat might show neurological changes, like lack of coordination, seizures, or shifts in behavior. There can also be eye inflammation, with redness or impaired vision. In many cases, the cat just seems more withdrawn, tired, with persistent fever and loss of appetite, signs that can easily be mistaken for other illnesses. In addition, there are symptoms that can appear in both forms of FIP, such as fever that doesn't go away, rapid weight loss, apathy, and difficulty eating. The question everyone asks, can FIP be cured? For many years, the answer to that question was no. FIP was considered an incurable disease, and getting that diagnosis basically meant your cat was living its final days. Vets and guardians found themselves in desperate situations, with few resources and no effective treatment available. It was a harsh reality, especially for those watching their pet fade away without being able to help. But that reality started to change thanks to advances in veterinary science. Researchers discovered an antiviral called GS441524, which acts directly on the replication of feline coronavirus and it showed remarkable results in cats with FIP. GS441524 works by blocking the virus from multiplying inside the cat cells, allowing the body to recover and inflammation to decrease. In other words, it gives the cat's body a real chance to fight back and win. Today, thousands of cats around the world have been treated with this antiviral, and they're alive, healthy, and free from the disease. The success rate is high, especially when treatment begins in the early stages of FIP. It's important to note that this treatment isn't yet widely available in every country, and in many places, it's accessed through alternative channels, always with specialized veterinary supervision. But the fact is, FIP is no longer a death sentence. It's still a very serious disease, but now there's a light at the end of the tunnel. How does the treatment work? Now that we know FIP can be cured, it's time to understand how this treatment actually works. The antiviral GS441524 is the key player in this breakthrough. It's given daily, either orally or by injection, and the most common protocol lasts around 12 weeks. During this period, the cat receives doses adjusted according to its weight and the severity of symptoms. But treatment isn't just about the medication. It requires close veterinary supervision, with regular tests to monitor how the body is responding, adjust the dosage, and check for any side effects. In many cases, the cat also needs supportive care, intravenous fluids, nutritional support, fever control, and treatment for anemia. All of this helps the animal build strength to recover. The guardian plays a crucial role in this process too. They're the ones making sure the cat gets its medication every day, has a calm and safe environment to heal, and that any changes in behavior or symptoms are reported to the vet right away. At the end of the 12 weeks, if the cat is doing well, showing no symptoms, and has stable test results, it enters a phase called observation. This lasts 90 days, during which the cat is still monitored but no longer receives medication. If it gets through this period without a relapse, it's officially considered cured. It's amazing to think that a disease once considered fatal can now be overcome with science, dedication, and love. But it's important to remember that the success of the treatment depends on several factors: the stage of the disease, how it presents, how quickly it's diagnosed, and of course, the guardian's commitment to following every step of the process. Why do some treatments fail? Even with an effective treatment like GS441524, not every case of FIP ends with a happy outcome. And understanding why that happens is essential for guardians to be prepared and act with more clarity and urgency. One of the main reasons treatment fails is late diagnosis. FIP is a fast-moving disease, and the longer the virus stays active in the cat's body, the more damage it causes to internal organs. If treatment starts too late, the body may already be too compromised to recover, even with the antiviral. Another important factor is incorrect dosing. The medication needs to be administered precisely, based on the cat's weight and the severity of symptoms. Doses that are too low may not be enough to control the virus, while doses that are too high can cause side effects. That's why specialized veterinary supervision is absolutely necessary. There are also cases where treatment is stopped too soon, whether due to financial difficulties, since the treatment is expensive, lack of guidance, or the belief that the cat is already cured. Unfortunately, stopping treatment early can allow the virus to start multiplying again, leading to a relapse, often more aggressive than the first. In addition, some cats may not respond well to the medication, or may have other underlying conditions that make recovery harder. Cats with very weak immune systems, for example, might not respond effectively to treatment, even when everything is done correctly. All these factors show that while FIP can be cured, it still demands attention, responsibility, and commitment. The success of treatment depends on a combination of elements: early diagnosis, proper medication, supportive care, and above all, the guardian's involvement in every step of the process. If you've made it this far, you now know that FIP, although one of the most devastating diseases a cat can face, is no longer a death sentence. Science has advanced, treatments have evolved, and today there's a real chance of recovery, something that seemed impossible just a few years ago. But that chance depends on information, quick action, and serious veterinary support. So if you know someone going through this, share this video. It could be the first step towards saving a life. FIP is still a serious disease, but with the right treatment and proper care, many cats are winning this battle. If this content was helpful to you, leave a comment, share your experience, and subscribe to follow our upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. Take good care of your cat, and see you in the next video.